In my last video, we covered how the first 3 sagas of Dragon Ball Super would be handled if Gohan was the main character instead of Goku. And now it's time to do the same for Goku Black. So how would Goku Black even be handled if Goku is in the Otherworld and Gohan is the main character instead? Would we have Gohan Black instead? Although that idea does have potential, I think thematically, Goku Black serves the story better. With Gohan as the main character, it's a real test for him to step things up. The trade-off here is that it's a lot more dramatic for Trunks to fight an evil Gohan than it is for him to fight an evil Goku. It'd be him overcoming his past with his previous mentor of future Gohan. Zamasu staying Goku Black does give Trunks a similar feeling though, as he saw Goku fight against Cell and sees him as a hero. And here he gets the opportunity to fight and learn from a very different Gohan, one by his side. Yes, I'll have Gohan and Trunks team up to take on Goku Black. So why does Zamasu choose to take Goku's body instead of Gohan's? We're going to mix things up quite a bit. You remember the Otherworld Tournament in Dragon Ball Z? The filler one? We're going to make a canon version of that tournament. We can catch up on what Goku and Vegeta are up to in the Otherworld through this tournament. Here we can establish that by this point, Vegeta has confirmed himself as a hero in the afterlife. He and Goku are drafted into an Otherworld tournament where we can canonize Pikkon as well, because I like him. The tournament is viewed by Kais all over the multiverse, including Supreme Kais. Maybe we can include some cameos here in the tournament, like Jiren's master, as he would be deceased by this point. Let's have Goku hanging out with Grandpa Gohan too, Gohan acting like a sponsor for the tournament. This tournament ends with Super Saiyan 3 Goku versus Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta, with Goku winning. After the tournament, we can have Janemba appear, and they fight through Gogeta and canonize that. And it shouldn't take too long, but it would be fun and fan-servicey, and we can set up a reason for Zamasu to pick Goku's body specifically. After watching that tournament, Zamasu would still have reason to choose Goku over Gohan. He wouldn't even need a life to take over since Goku's deceased. Just his body, which is maintained in Otherworld. Meanwhile, Beerus would confront Gohan. He says it's time for him to be done with Supreme Kai and Elder Kai. It's time he started training with Beerus full-time. Goten and Trunks show off their Super Saiyan God forms to Beerus. But before any fights can start, that's when future Trunks arrives in his time machine. We see future Trunks' past, how he fought against Dabura and stopped Buu, and how he became his timeline's hero once again, becoming Super Saiyan 2 with the sacrifice of his Supreme Kai. We'll then get to Goku Black's invasion. However, I wouldn't put future Mai here, as she wouldn't be as close to Trunks here. Remember, she's older than Goku, and we didn't de-age her in our reimagining. It's just weird to have her in a relationship with Trunks anyways, so let's use this as a chance to bring someone interesting to ally with Trunks. We want this to be someone who could form an important relationship with Trunks and share in sorrow with him when future Bulma is killed by Black. This is going to be a woman, one who will be kind of like an aunt figure, to give her hope and carry on a role for future Bulma. I'm bringing back Launch. Future Launch would find future Bulma reconnecting with her best friend after the apocalypse brought by Goku Black. She would help push others to rebel. As we all know from her criminal streak, she doesn't do well with authority like an evil god Goku Black anyway. Not to mention, Launch rules and deserves love. She was a major character for half of the original story. She deserves to keep that love. So the saga begins with future Trunks and Goku Black will stay the same, replacing Mai with Launch. He time travels with Beerus and Whis here to witness it. From here, groups separate. Our main guy Gohan will Kai to King Kai's planet and find Videl there. Here we will show that many of the Dragon Team has been training here as well, namely Yamcha, Tien, Chaozu, Krillin. Not Piccolo. He wouldn't have joined them. He instead chose to spend his time with Dende and Popo. Here he could train with those two, who are his friends. They all have decided to do more to train, seeing how close Frieza was to taking them down and taking over Earth in the last episode. A big twist is, Goku is here helping King Kai teach the Dragon Team. He shares that Vegeta is busy earning his heaven status, pretty much working as a knight for heaven. Which leaves Goku free time to help out with King Kai's training of the Dragon Team. This will set up what Vegeta and Goku do pretty much from here on. Goku explores and enjoys training with masters all across Otherworld, as Vegeta works for heaven, maybe fighting against demons too. This could even be an excuse to have Vegeta show up during my interpretation of Daima, but that's far off from here. We can get a rundown, flashbacks of King Kai's advice and training. King Kai teaches Yamcha to have real confidence in himself, seeing through his facade. He tells Yamcha not to focus on new techniques, but further refine his own. Yamcha's Neo Wolf Fang fist transforms, now able to form a wolf made of ki, instead of just an illusion of a wolf. King Kai teaches Yamcha how to upgrade his Spirit Ball to a Spirit Bomb, able to expand its size for less control, and increase and decrease its size on command as well. Tien has learned the Spirit Bomb and is attempting to absorb it to power himself up. He struggles with it, not fully understanding how to harness the ki. Tien does, however, learn how to lower the sacrifice of Tri-Beam, using excess ki from his surroundings. Chiaotzu would learn to conjure his own ki with better effectiveness. With this, he can combine ki and his psychic techniques to create attacks no one else can. This may be what's needed to make Chiaotzu more than just a support fighter. Krillin is already pretty skilled with a variety of techniques, so King Kai has a suggestion for him. Use your ability to use multiple techniques and combine it with your reading of opponents. Yes, King Kai teaches him how to steal techniques from others, even those he fights. This is something Krillin could pretty much already do, but it'll be further emphasized from here on. These techniques may not immediately be as strong as the originals, but it could cement Krillin as an all-rounder who is always capable of being a competent fighter. And finally, Videl, the new student. Firstly, she'd learn ki control with Chiaotzu. She probably would struggle a bit, but she's too stubborn to give up. I think Gohan would kai often enough that he can help teach her as well. She'd probably become great at it once she gets the hang of it, unlike Chiaotzu, which would struggle more since it's so different from his psycho powers. This may be controversial, but let's give Videl Kaioken. She's a stubborn, tough fighter who fights with her all. It just fits her character to have it. Not to mention a boost like that is enough to elevate her to the other Dragon Team members. If you envision Kaioken as a Goku technique, then Videl has been married into the Sun family. She would be inheriting that from her father-in-law, Goku. Goku himself would be there to help her with it too, after all. Gohan brings them all back to help with future Trunks. Meanwhile, Trunks and Goten meet with future Trunks. Trunks and future Trunks are awkward with each other, but it's revealed they both got their sword from Tapion. Future Trunks reveals his version of events with Tapion, and how he defeated Hirudegarn pretty much by himself, with Tapion offering to bring Trunks to the past with him at the end, but Trunks refused and decided to stay in his present, but our future. Our kid Trunks needed help from Gohan and Goten to beat Hirudegarn, so this makes our younger Trunks feel like he has a lot to live up to, but also someone to admire. They get along, talking about their feelings about Tapion, love of their mother, maybe uncomfortable feelings of their father, and showing off their Super Saiyan forms. Goten would love having future Trunks around, an even cooler older brother figure than Trunks or Gohan, or at least that's how Goten would joke. Future Trunks can also be introduced to Bulla and Pan, seeing the family he's missing out on in this timeline. As Gohan returns with the rest of the Dragon Team, he leaves to go fetch Piccolo. Videl and Krillin leave to pick up 18, who's babysitting Pan and her own child, Marin. During this time, we'll get the flash to Zamasu, setting him up with his motives, just as was done in the original. Back to Earth, Xena requests a meeting with Boo, so Beerus and Whis find Boo and Mr. Satan and bring them to Zeno. Mr. Satan struggles to understand the mechanics of the world of deities, but as Boo's caretaker, he has to go with him. I think it's much more in character for Boo to act like a kid instead of Goku, so events should go similarly as they did in Super. From here, Beerus and Whis go and investigate Zamasu. The Dragon Team decide to go with future Trunks to take down Goku Black. Gohan theorizing Beerus and Whis may not even be willing to help due to the time issues at place. Just as Bulma shares that they don't have enough fuel to time travel, the Pilaf gang approaches. They have stronger, upgraded robots as Pilaf has learned the science behind time travel, but only a few seconds at a time. He says he'll take down Bulma here and now and have his Soba Society as the top corporation in the planet. We get a battle with the Dragon Team who trained at King Kai seeking to show off against Pilaf's robots, piloted by Pilaf Mai and Shu. Videl fights Mai's machines, and at first she struggles, as Mai seems to skip time, skipping all over the place around her. But once Videl uses Kaioken, she can rush right through Mai's machine, taking her down easily. Yamcha fights Shu in his machine. His new ultimate Wolf Fang fist is enough to take down Shu, even scaring him with the image of a bigger wolf. Then it's Tien against Pilaf himself. Tien rises into the air and lets out a tri-beam. Pilaf dodges using his time powers, but Tien quickly lets out another. Pilaf questions how he can shoot off so many in a row, but he's overwhelmed by the multiple tri-beams. As the three are now thrown out of their destroyed robots, they hug, scared, as Chiaotzu floats up. He psychically holds them, then forms a fist of ki around his hand, punching up to blast them away like they were Team Rocket, combining his ki and magic in a way he couldn't before. Bulma observes the wreckage of the machines, and she takes the fuel straight from them. That's just what we needed. Remind me to thank Pilaf next time, Bulma says. Bulma and her dad fuel up the time machine, and they get ready to decide who should go. The time machine can fit about 3 adults. Boo is too big to fit in the time machine, and we want to fit as many people in here as possible. Goten and Trunks are small enough, so they could fit both of them in there for the space of 1 adult. So it's decided they should go with Future Trunks. So that leaves enough space for 1 more person. Gohan offers, which Videl protests against because she wants to fight too. She just trained and got much stronger, and she definitely doesn't want to leave Gohan, Goten, or Trunks in danger without her. Yamcha jokes that she'll get used to being left behind, but Videl just glares at him in response. Gohan reassures Videl, and so it's confirmed it is going to be both Trunks, Goten, and Gohan who head into the future. Goten and Kid Trunks get a bit nauseous since they were too curious and looked out the window as they time traveled. Once they're out of the time machine, Trunks searches and finds out Launch is still alive, even though Bulma is not. The 3 from our time don't really know Launch as well, so they wonder how Trunks seems to know her so well. Launch says she's met Gohan before, even if he doesn't remember, but the 2 little kids are new to her. She scruffs up their hair, making them even dizzier than they were from the time travel. She comments on how big Gohan has gotten, with some guilt in her eyes. This carefree meeting doesn't last long, as Goku Black appears. Launch grows angry, saying, "There's the shrimp." The others wonder why Launch would call such an intimidating figure a shrimp, but Launch still sees Goku's body as an innocent little fighter she met when he was 12. Trunks takes Launch away, as Gohan, Goten, and Kid Trunks ready to battle Black. All 3 feel a bit uncomfortable, with Kid Trunks probably having the easiest time battling. The 3 all attack, as Gohan will always prioritize the safety of the world rather than the glory of battle. He's not leaving this for a 1 versus 1. Goku Black is forced to use transformations one after the other to fight back, slowly getting stronger even as he is outnumbered. This is when he reveals he has Super Saiyan 1, 2, and 3. By the time he reaches 3, he overwhelms our 3 fighters. Meanwhile, Beerus kills the Zamasu in the main timeline, and Supreme Kai theorizes about Goku Black having his own partner in the form of his own Zamasu. And just as Gohan is about to ultimate Kamehameha Goku Black into dust, he's saved and healed by a Zamasu. So it's revealed that Beerus killing Zamasu only happened because he knew of time travel. So him doing this split the universe. That means a timeline of the main universe still exists, where Zamasu becomes Goku Black, even if Beerus kills him in the new Prime timeline. So the Zamasu in the Future Trunks timeline is from this future timeline, who never shifted into Goku Black, while the Goku Black is from our main timeline, but the future. It's kind of confusing, and it was definitely a bit hard for me to understand in the official media, so I hope the way I explained it made a bit of sense. Anyways, Gohan aims at the new Zamasu, understanding healers need to be taken out fast, while Goten and Trunks team up against Goku Black. Goku Black sees Goten hesitate. He says he guesses Gohan did the right thing by taking Goten back. He approaches Goten and heals him. Gohan is shocked Piccolo learned how to do this. So Piccolo asks what he thinks he's been learning how to do on Namek and with Dende for so long. Piccolo thinks of his past as Nail, a protector of his people, the Namekians. He remembers his life as Kami, the protector of Earth. He tells Gohan he knows who he is. He's a protector. He's meant to protect his family. And he looks at Gohan, Goten, Videl. He looks around to the whole team. And he says, "Yeah, this is my family." And Piccolo gives a smile. Gohan and Videl cartoonishly cry and hug him. And he yells at them to get off. Continuing. Gowasu and Shin time travel using their time rings to save Future Trunks and Launch, just in the nick of time. Trunks breathes a sigh of relief as he wouldn't want Launch killed like his mother was. Gowasu then goes to Zamasu and Black, trying to talk them down. Shin goes with him, aiming to protect them as he talks. Black, however, kills Gowasu just as Gowasu seems to convince him to take his hand, and Shin grows wrathful. He tries to fight Goku Black and Zamasu, and at first is able to get the upper hand, but the double teaming gets to him, and he is beaten. Trunks backs him up as best as he can, but the Super Saiyan 3 Goku Black is too much to deal with. Meanwhile, Gohan asks Goten to stay. He knows Goten is strong, but emotionally, he struggles to handle the idea of him joining the fray again. Goten is okay with stepping out of this battle, since it was hard for him to fight Black as well. New shrinking power that we gave him in our version of the Buu Saga to enter the time machine. So he is pretty much just a free fighter here. So they wonder who should replace the space for Goten. And they realize the only one who can really fit is Chiaotzu. Tien says if Chiaotzu is going, he is too. So unfortunately, Videl is shafted yet again for someone else, causing her to get a bit mad. Suddenly, Pan starts to cry, and that anger all goes away, and she acts immediately very loving and caring. It's kind of funny how quick her attitude shifts, but these comedic scenes are invaluable in Dragon Ball, especially in a darker arc like this one. So Gohan, Piccolo, Kid Trunks, Chiaotzu, and Tien enter the time machine and return to the present. Gohan kaikais straight to his friend Shin and saves him from Black and Zamasu. Piccolo heals Shin, who runs to Gowasu. Gohan, both the Trunks, Tien, and Chiaotzu all go on the attack, as Shin yells to Piccolo to follow him to Gowasu. Shin and Piccolo combine their healing in an attempt to heal him, but it's not enough. That's right, in our version, Gowasu will die here. It's gonna sell how deadly Black could be with just a single ki saber. Piccolo apologizes to Shin, saying he wishes he was just a bit faster. Shin recalls how many times he's seen his elder Kai die before, and now it's happened again. He grows sad. Piccolo thinks of how Gohan felt seeing Goten hurt, and Piccolo places a hand on Shin's shoulder. He apologizes for the disrespect to a higher-ranking god like Shin, but tells him that Gowasu died living for his morals. It's time for Shin to show his care for his fellow Kai by living on his own morals and taking down the two who did this. So Piccolo and Shin join the fray, and with the numbers advantage, they should be able to win with the amount of powerful fighters battling just the two of Zamasu and Black. So Zamasu and Black are forced to use their trump card, fusing in order to gain the upper hand again. This would technically be the reveal of Potara Fusion existing, since in this timeline, only the fusion dance has been used, with only Gotenks and Gogeta being canon at this point. So at that point, everyone starts struggling, getting knocked back and even both Trunks losing their transformations. Tien is hit hard and knocked back near Launch. Instantly, Launch goes near him. Launch holds him to her, and she shares that it's been so long since he died in this timeline, how she had so much she wanted to share with him but couldn't. She apologizes for not trying hard enough to stay in his life when he was alive. Tien responds, telling her it was really his fault. He says he was scared of forming a relationship with a wild card like her, scared of losing himself. He's always been about respect, self-actualization, the principles of martial arts, and he was scared that being with someone who might show him a different understanding of light might change him. Tien says he can't speak for her, Tien, but that's how he sees things. Launch punches him and calls him an idiot, telling him that on her journeys, it's always been about finding her own way to live. She points to all the fighters, saying they all have their own ways to live, yet they all still have something to fight for. She shakes Tien, telling him that all she wanted was to be understood by everyone, and the first sign of rejection, she ran. Launch asks if it's too late. Even if it's not her Tien, is there a way that he could understand her? Tien answers there's one easy way. He yells, "Lend me your energy!" as he begins charging his spirit bomb. Launch smirks as she raises her hands to help. The other fighters do as well, taking turns as they go from distracting Zamasu to lending Tien energy. Zamasu laughs, telling Tien they'll slice right through the spirit bomb. Tien scoffs, saying it's not an attack. He finally learns to absorb the spirit bomb into himself, gaining a higher power. Through the spirit bomb, he gains an understanding of Launch and all his friends through their ki. This is the ultimate spirit of martial arts. And just as he unlocked his third eye from initial martial arts mastery, he unlocks a new form from the complete understanding of his world, himself, and the others. Awakened Tien, with all four arms always out and ki constantly sparkling all around him. Tien turns to launch. I'll find the other you. I'll make things right for her, right for me. And you, know your Tien fought to protect you too. Even if he couldn't admit it, he loved you too. Tien then launches towards Zamasu, battling him. Tien holds his bottom two arms behind him, not even needing them as he attacks. He floats still, just his upper hands punching at Mach speed, sending Zamasu back. Tien clothes himself and surrounds Zamasu. They effortlessly punch Zamasu over and over, sending him into other Tiens to punch him again and again. As Zamasu is knocked back to the floor, Tien's clones all concentrate their ki into their forearms. They yell, Dodon Ray! And what must be dozens of Dodon Rays are fired straight into Zamasu. When the dust clears, Zamasu is in pieces, completely destroyed. I'm sorry, Zamasu, Tien says, uncharacteristically having sympathy for such a wicked enemy, as all his clones return to him. He's changed from his awakening, like he reached nirvana. Suddenly, Zamasu's blown apart pieces join together, Zamasu reforming. Out of nowhere, a portal appears behind Tien, and Zamasu's energy blade stabs him in the back. Tien falls to the ground, losing his transformation. Shin yells, questioning, He's immortal? Zamasu laughs, sharing that being two gods in one, a perfect fusion of divinity, has made him completely immortal, able to regenerate from a single cell. Gohan charges at Zamasu, telling him he's destroyed a being down to his last cell before, and he'll do it again. So Zamasu's immortality is kind of weird. In the anime, it's stated outright that he's immortal, but I don't want that to be the case here. I think few Zamasu would have incredible regeneration and just perceive it as divine immortality because of his own ego. I think this regeneration would be from the fusion of two Supreme Kai of the same soul who are capable of healing and, of course, having sane biology of coming back stronger whenever they're knocked down. Piccolo and Launch rush to Tien, Piccolo healing him, but the damage is done. Tien thanks Piccolo, but tells him all that's happened took a lot out of him. Chiatsu floats Tien and Launch away, with Chiatsu telling him that he'll fight for Tien. He uses his magic and ki control together, creating a magical image of Tien around himself, like what Goku does against Moro, but to a smaller extent. He charges in and fights with Gohan, punching using the apparition. Zamasu tells him that fighting is effortless when he's so incredibly divine, slicing through Chiatsu's Tien apparition, and then kicking him down. Kid Trunks catches Chiatsu and settles him down to safety. Zamasu fights with Gohan, asking how it feels to know he'll never prove himself over his father. Gohan yells back, saying his goal is to make his father proud, not surpass him. Zamasu wonders aloud if in Goku Black's universe, Gohan made his dad proud by letting Black kill Goten and Chi-Chi. Gohan pauses in shock, not rage, but genuine surprise that Zamasu would say something like that. This allows Zamasu to attack him hard and launch him into the ground. Piccolo goes to heal him, but Zamasu summons portals to Piccolo's side, cutting off his arms. Yes, a Piccolo staple. What can I say? Future Trunks and Kid Trunks fly up. Zamasu scoffs, asking how the one he's clearly overpowered so much in the past and his kid alternate self could ever stand a chance against him. Future Trunks speaks up, hyping up Kid Trunks. He tells Zamasu he clearly doesn't know about this kid, that he impressed him so much, even though he's younger, he strives to be like him. This ego boost is exactly what would motivate Kid Trunks, and together they battle Zamasu again. They slice away at him, but Zamasu just keeps regenerating near instantly. That's when Future Trunks comes up with a plan. So Zamasu summons a blade at each arm, able to clash with their swords and defend himself. It's then when Zamasu is fired upon, not by ki, but bullets. Zamasu scoffs, asking what a lowly mortal who can't even control ki is doing fighting a god. Future Launch cries out that Goku was her friend, and he didn't care if she was weak or strong. Goku was family, and that's all there was to it. She says Zamasu could never be like Goku, because Goku had love for the weak and strong, even though he was the strongest of them all. This distraction is enough for the Trunks to put their plan in motion, each slicing Zamasu in half, both using future Trunks' iconic attack that he defeated Frieza with, simultaneous shining sword attacks. As the pieces of what remains begins to collect, two blobs of flesh form with two different faces, one of Goku Black and one of Zamasu. Gohan approaches the one that looks like Black and looks down on them. "I'm not my father, but I live every day so you can look down on me and be proud. You would never understand. You killed your own master. I know Goku would want to give you a second chance, but I'm not him. I never want to see you again." Shin would approach Zamasu's slowly regenerating face. "All I know is respect for the Kais. I love my place and divinity itself. I love protecting and helping the mortals of our universe. That's what divinity truly means. I wish you can understand that as well." Shin stomps on Zamasu's face. His eyes narrow, just as he did in his first appearance, and he steps back. Gohan and future Trunks charge up together and fire a huge Masenko, simultaneously destroying the last remaining cells of Goku Black, defeating him. All our fighters recover and get ready to say goodbye to future Trunks and future Launch. Kid Trunks and future Trunks call each other brothers and say they have a lot to learn from each other. Tien tells Launch that she's still beautiful after all these years, no matter how long they've been apart. Launch slaps his bald head, telling him he's saying that to the wrong Launch. Gohan shakes future Trunks' hand, and Trunks has a vision to future Gohan. A tear forms in his eye. "I hope I'm doing you proud," he admits. Gohan nods. "Same to you." So triumphantly, our heroes return to Capsule Corp. Trunks shows off that he learned new techniques from his future self, and he grew stronger. Gohan hugs Videl and Pan as soon as he gets home. He says looking at Pan reminds him of Goku, the real Goku who they knew, who loved his family, who didn't let his strength make him look down on others. Tien leaves instantly, searching for Launch on his own. He even leaves Chiaotzu behind, sharing this is the one thing he needs to do completely on his own. Bulma says it's sad that she couldn't say bye to future Trunks, but hugs her own Trunks instead. Krillin, Yamcha, and Videl complain, upset they couldn't really throw down. But suddenly, Beerus shows back up. He tells them they better keep that attitude up, since Boo might have screwed the whole universe. He tells them that Zeno summoned Boo and the Tournament of Power is now a thing. He tells them they better keep training because they need to save the universe. And there we have it. Goku Black was defeated by Gohan and Trunks, saving the future timeline. Next time, how will this new and improved cast handle the Tournament of Power? Which 10 will make it in? Only one way to find out. Tune in next time on Dragon Ball Generations. So yeah, Zamasu's plan to destroy all the mortals will stop not just by mortals, but mortals with ties to divinity and a Supreme Kai themselves, showcasing that harmony between all will always be superior to a state of only one kind of superior being. Gohan also proved himself worthy of his father's legacy by surpassing Goku Black, while also cementing himself as his own person. So I hope it all came together well for you, and I hope you enjoyed it. And make sure to like this video and subscribe for the next one.